You already read the title, you know what time it is, Tabby.
You gonna get this work, nigga.
I thought you was safe. It is Shawn C, and we're back in here for another review, but this time it's to another YouTuber's music. This is an individual that I've praised on the channel before for delivering great content, great insightful commentary, and now I guess it's his turn to drop a project of his own, and I'm happy about it. For those of you who don't know, Tabby and I, we have a sex tape coming out, and we don't have a release date for it yet. Maybe listening to this project will give me inspiration to drop it sometime in the near future. Sex tape might take a long time to come out, but it's coming soon. Okay, it might come out in the next few years, but it's coming soon. No pause. I'm ready to hop into this Tabby white trash. Disclaimer, I know we all love Tabby. I love his videos. He's a great dude. He is not exempt from criticism though. If you're going to respect someone as an individual, you also have to respect them in whatever form they choose to express themselves in, which in Tabby's case happens to be through music. So to show him respect for music, I'm not gonna hold back on any critique I have because I respect him as a person. So now I have to respect him as an artist. First track is Buckwheat. Now I think I heard this freestyled on his channel already. We're gonna listen to it just to refresh my memory. This is already vibing.
In fact, my face wild pets kept in Dolce's mouths, fitting sorbet sweet 16 speed day celebration. Just more sperm who ran a red at the exit. Change the new nooses.
This is Tabby. Wait, whoa. First of all, this is great. Second of all, sperm who ran away at the exit.
Say billboard like dragon, my balls hang like Goku's did. Newcastle captured basket pass Sunday and Pew.
Slay billboards like dragon, my balls hang like Goku's did. So you think you're slick?
One E involved. Tabby step up to ring, come up, fucks from the ceiling towel. Force of Katrina mixed with lip. Anxious from Mary, but Peter keep on Alicia Webs. Keep up with that, like I'm Usain with 2 minutes and eggs. Screaming Sharkeisha, beating Densky, that's at my tonsils chill. Stir another one, Cali tolerance, farming illness, do carpenter.
Now that is how you start a motherfucking MIXTAPE. Welcome to White Trash.
Is that big cool?
Tabby has positive takeaway from this experience. Well, probably because you're a little bitch.
Probably. Alright, so the first track is pretty dope, and we get a Big Quint feature that's just out of nowhere. Big Quint, you're not low though. I know, I remember you talking about you was gonna drop a project. Where is it at? Don't think I forgot. You know better than J. Cole. Pretty good intro. I think he experiments with his flows a couple of times on that track, and in my opinion, I think that keeps the versatility alive within an artist. Not only is it very witty and it's kind of satirical in the sense that it's not taking itself so seriously, but at the same time it's also sprinkling in those heavier details about depression, about pill popping, about anxiety, and about alcohol. You know, I think that's a good way to tackle those issues without trying to make people be like, oh my god, I feel so bad for this guy. Next track, Malcolm.
No need today, tomorrow land with bronzes. Comatose getting sucked off on the couch of they vacuum. Honestly, beard is gross. Fuck status, eating clothes. Now, mama, I'm a whitey. White knee, spitting on it.
Here we go. This is a good flow. This is a head bopper. Alright, for that track, I'm definitely mixed on in the sense that I love how, like I said, I love how he raps. I love that he is lyrical. I love that he knows how to put together what he wants to say, and he doesn't have a problem setting himself up for a bar in the future, because you can definitely see it with, you know, his lines about the 3 piggies, his lines about Aang and Appa. Only issue I think I had with that track was the fact that it seemed as though during the hook of the song, where there is an incredible amount of detail when it comes to what he's rapping about. It goes into details about instability and feeling like you don't have any aid around you. The mind is actually reminiscent of the Money Store from Death Grips when it comes to this unsettling feeling that you have throughout the entire track, and I feel like that's kind of what Tabby is portraying with this track. Like I said, the only issue I had with this track was the fact that I think his voice goes a little bit too quick for the hook, because I do think it's a great hook. I just think if it carried longer and his voice traveled a little less quick, I could feel the impact of it more. Although I do know there is a lot to cover with the hook. Like, there's a lot of lines in there. I think the way he handles his voice is great. I think if he would have just said it a little bit slower with the hook, it would have had more impact on the song. Track number 3, Nordeast. I only know of one place that is the title of this track. I don't know how to pronounce it, I forgot, but I do remember that this city is in Minneapolis. So is this Tabby kind of describing, you know, how he came up?
Fan, I just wanted to say that your music got me rock hard.
This reminds me of an old ass Eminem beat.
If a tree falls in the forest by no man, does it make a sound? Only 90s.
Yup.
Dick float while I write this episode, soaked a red skin of Simple Simon's saliva.
Oh my god, Dick Flow is I can picture you in the bathtub, and this is not okay. Maybe it is kind of attractive.
Dodge him doing the doggy quick buster nut and the nunnery like some priests when they're young and sweet. Tongue in cheek, totally locate, come rap, dude. Spit up rhythms like bad food. You'll compliment fishing with rap codes. Skip lickety split to a dab.
Hold up, wait. Who this flow that he's using right now? Oh my god, I cannot remember who it is. It reminds me of a JID song though. Damn it, I don't remember which one it was.
Aren't my haters cool? I remember 6th grade with the bracelets too. Y'all like, hello fellow kids, I'm so relatable. So once sitting album's finished, don't revise the hype tag. If Pascal used ad-libs, that Bible got thrice black. Rivals benign, I'm making doctors break ice bag.
He's dissing ad-lib rappers and got A in the background.
That ego with weak flows, Popeye ass, I'm Charlie and T, so it be and rap.
Track number 4, Cranston. Oh, some nice bass on here. Was that a cameo from Rufus?
We cutting your sex sword with sword swing for 4 he's before you make the OGs go OGs. Got a creaming tint, a chew. Let's see, why do he kill a mucus airborne? So fuck the dollars, cut wallet whacking off to their door. I'm a rare for making swings with dusters dunked in lemon lime. Catch a Sprite from the most feisty whites and Svedderline. Now your man's got boo-boo fist.
What is wrong with you? Why did you have to go there?
Pussy, delete beef with foes with the chromistery. Miyagi cooking bugs, I'm Daniel Best in his reach.
Oh, okay.
His exo sweating like Killer Mike's. Don't
Ooh.
need to blend to lie.
Oh, okay.
Big words you tie.
Right? Oh shit, okay. Okay.
My hair thick and slick, back up, fuck boy, G-Eazy. No
Oh!
just do Houston, but send me hold to get top like a smoke drop. She swallow white like the meth gang. Got skills of a better, but never giving my dick breaks.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me go back.
She swallow white like the meth gang. Got skills of a better, but never giving my dick breaks. Like
oh my god. You just shouted out a porn star. You just shouted out one of my favorite porn stars. W, just W. Handle the W. Wait, where is it? W. I don't really have a problem with that track. I think the beat that is so simple in the background puts a lot of emphasis on Tabby's voice, so he really has no choice but to be the center of attention and to keep rapping the entire song. I don't have an issue with it. And the little mid breaks in between where it kind of just gives you a breather or gives him a breather are nice because the song isn't too overbearing. It is very strong. It's very powerful. Tabby's voice on this entire thing so far has been very animated. It's a pretty braggy track. There's not really a point to the track. It's just more or less saying or showing, you know, his lyrical ability. Track number 5, Yellowbelly. Who is producing this thing?
After whipping the laundry, the wife and father tied picket fence to disarm me. We toe to toe like she hiked up the mom jeans. Picture Picasso, make glory hoes, supposed to be fucking Ku Klux. Pokey,
Jesus.
Lips if they told me to do her. Shocker, remove her T. 1 in sync, 2 in the fuchsia. How are you? True stretch like Dawson moves. I'm doing super.
These socks and slides. Let's spin the chronic if you're down to vibe. Won't Cherie brought us like this.
Oh my god.
Bitch, I'm doing lines like a coked up seamstress. Since 9-3 funks in my chin.
I'm not mad at this one at all. I'm really not. It's almost as if he called the track Yellowbelly because you can't handle the drugs that you're taking. Regardless of that, I did like the track. I did like the song. I loved the hook. And I like how he is working with what he's able to. Seeing that he is able to work with such dark beats does remind me of like some old Odd Future, old Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator. It seems like he just narrowly fits within that category, but still manages to keep his voice off the wall, a little eccentric, a little animated. Track number 6, Rufus, the cat. Okay.
Well, it all started with a small orange cat named Rufus.
Okay.
This man went on a long spiritual journey to find his purpose. I am mystical beast, sleeping in his lair. Now, this dumb motherfucker decided to wake the motherfucker up.
Oh.
To blur, my reverence turn to scourge and sever worms litter. Some network should respect your work, not worth the second squirt, so squirt. Let you results for Ponzi schemes. I'll feed apocalypse. I send anomalies before I call it quits. Let monarch gauntlets on since God given power trips. Outlets for different partnership between parliament on.
I don't know, the beginning of that track starts out as if Tabby is rapping from the perspective of his cat that he finds in this slumber, and like then Tabby finally comes up, and Tabby's the one who kind of just wanted to have like an answer, like he wanted to find a reason or like a way. But I feel like he's rapping from Rufus's perspective in the beginning, so that's why I'm like intrigued by the rest of the subject matter.
Down, pause, treading as domestic breed. Lesson keep testing self to best your enemies.
Countless rappers went to Rufus for his blessing, only to later abuse them. He was surprised to find that this one simply desired guidance rather than fame and power.
Okay, I get it.
Bestowed
Okay.
upon him the name
Okay.
accompanied him on his journey by taking the form of a simple house cat. Believe that shit?
Solid track. I like the subject matter. I like how the track was formed. I like that he raps from multiple perspectives on that thing. The Quint intro really helps it out because painting the picture with Tabby going into this cave kind of helps you to get the thought process that he is kind of asking, as if this this cat or this mystical creature inside of this cave is some kind of almighty being. Track number 7, 1227.
Leave you hearing me, shrink beneath the sink, fearing someone about to kill Ralphie, mind in a blur, believe in deities, believe you hearing me, shrink beneath the sink, fearing someone about to.
Oh.
1227, 2 days later, he back in heaven. 2 years of age, I lacked awareness. 1227, 2 days later, dad lost his baby. How could he take it off to the natives lost in the mountains? Spark sage, fellow constellations, walked paces, didn't lead to X. Facing this ain't the matrix, no exit. 1220, water sorrows like a gardener. 1227, why was it him? Dad blames himself, not the helmet. 1227, written on my skin to remember my mortality. Last of my daddies, mama passed me on the back, every chance blown. Nasty habit of romance and bad one.
Oh, no, man. This is gonna be my favorite track on the whole thing. 1227 may have been the date for Tabby's younger brother, maybe. That he lost his younger brother, and this is the kind of the complications of him having to deal with, and the way his parents dealt with it. How the child's birthday isn't actually a celebration, it's actually a time for mourning every time it comes around. By saying celebration's different, no name on a cake, just dated pics on Facebook. Again, it delves into that same, subject matter of the father blaming himself or the parent taking immediate responsibility for the child, and Tabby's kind of giving his perspective at the same time, saying, you know what, it's not even, Dad, don't blame yourself, it's the manufacturing of this helmet. If it worked, then he would still be here.
2 days later, he back in heaven. I don't know. I don't believe in God anymore. Hypochondria, I feel every organ. I feel hearing organs when I kick the bucket. I'm no boy. That's a darkness you can't comprehend. 1227, need to know the answers, bro. Lend a hand. It's not fair that you were taken so early.
Very strong track from Tabby. Didn't expect to have a lot of himself on this actual project. It's definitely a very rough situation to be in, especially when you're younger, and a lot of people think, oh man, people lose people every day, but this is a different situation where you feel, the responsibility of a death that you couldn't actually control, and that's the worst thing as a parent, to have to deal with the possibility that you may have had nothing to do with the death of your child. You just have to live with it and accept it as you move through life. That's kind of the issue. I think that's the conflict with this track, is that you don't really have anybody to blame. It just happened. And I get the conflict within himself and him asking and saying, I don't even believe in a God. I don't believe in deities. If something like this could just randomly happen to someone who didn't do anything to deserve it, as someone who's lost a good portion of people, I feel like whatever ideology or religious value I might hold come from my practicality or come from my mindset, eliminating what has happened to me in my life. It's hard to differentiate your practicality from your emotions because your emotions are like the first thing that come to you. You think about something, it's a delay. It's always a next step after your instinctive ability to immediately have an emotional reaction to something. You have to literally shut down your instinct to have a delayed reaction. And that's when the thought process of I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that comes into play. It's definitely a strong track and I'll listen to it a lot. That one, that's my favorite. I've got a good amount of songs on here I would listen to and come back to, but that one most definitely is going in there. Track number 8, Mahogany.
Stench equals the havoc I'm wreaking. Not reaping benefits far too frequent. Tally
I'm feeling it.
my defeats their Christian chemistry once the prefix of my romance with the reaper till she slipped. Once a cheater, they will be on. Don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Don't of reality like panties on mine. Ditched out for a minute. Lift the shoulders and vibe. This couch getting lifted. Switch to ghetto for dad cap. Religion for ass clad and ass and Oxy. All your thoughts want me. Pause. Alright.
Pause. Yeah, that track was pretty self-explanatory when it comes to the procrastination issue. I love how the mahogany table is kind of used as the metaphor for the place where he spends most of his time. I love the chill, laid-back kind of vibe to put you in the mindset that it's almost as if he's talking to himself, convincing himself that the procrastination is almost okay. Kind of saying it to himself satirically, like, oh, don't procrastinate. Like, you don't really take it seriously when you say it. It's kind of like one of those things to say, but you're still gonna keep procrastinating. Track number 9, Versus.
Get off that lazy boy. Green with the over green just makes it jade everties. Want a bird on your shoulder, setting plus for that booty and crackers. There ain't the motive here. Daddy out to his spank ya. Had he not pampered you in Pampers would have grown like a man. Instead you grew just a schizophrenia.
Oh. This man is retarded. Earl Grey, black as Idris Elba's nostrils, blue in your skull. Like, okay. Another pretty cool freestyle, but I think this vibe is something we've gotten from Tabby for majority of the project so far, so hearing it now isn't very surprising or shocking. Hearing what he has to say isn't that moving or dropping any massive knowledge. It's him doing more spitting on a track that has a similar vibe. Track number 10, Umami. Or is that Umami?
Damn girl, let me get it, damn girl. Let me get it, take that keep chi warm and steep chai. Be warned, he seems nice, under skin eyes, a beast of a feline. Cut chit chat like crotch shrubbery. Fucked with you, busting nuts on marble statue busts. I'm a lover of art till guards catch me. Long cardigans gone to.
You mean to tell me you just sit there and jerk it at the museum? You just sit there and jerk it until they walk up on you and say, "Sir, sir, sir, could you put that away?"
Salty, he ran from Campbell's floor. Damsels after link damage, man's getting door.
Oh!
Lightness loser, dupe your crew in the hazardous fumes.
I heard that Hadouken. Track number 11, Doozy. Knew it was coming.
I cannot be fucked with. I cannot be fucked with.
You want me to run up on you then? What you trying to say? That's what I'm talking about. Switch up the flow.
Smoke to one's tongue, noogie in my pink cranium. 90s punk baby rock. Quick hand at your skis. Q left, the cannot be. Who gals up pennies eat? And flush your words could be the first. Either side, hit the sea legs through a wine glass. Cradle crash from nightstand. Cause your white ass doing nines fast like flash. Now I don't feed. Woke me, Joe's come up logic lacking like Kirk lost spot. Average maestros go viral like there goes crotch. Sip my
damn.
It's like a toddler. Tossing my dollars towards a piece for product. Holy man's Ken ball, just plastic. Basic tactics. User caskets, main attraction. Rappers aim high, they complain they're lagging. Captain, spare fucks, that's cute, dude. That's so fucking cute. Got you dressed in a tutu.
As to the man himself. Before I go, I just want to personally thank you for listening. And remember,
you're welcome.
Clean your earbuds, you nasty, dirty, waxy ear motherfuckers.
Tell them. I cannot tell. You know what? This is why people can't borrow each other's earbuds. You think because you take them out, oh yeah, it's all fine. use a needle, okay? Use a needle and scrape the rest of the wax out of the earbud in the speaker portion. It gets in there too. Don't think that you're safe just because you clean the white part of it. I get where Tabby was going, why he put that little part at the end with Big Quint. I get where he was going. This is more white privilege. Track number 12, white trash.
Thanks for listening to the project.
You're welcome.
And I'd just like to preface this track by saying this is not white guilt or asking you to pity my privilege.
Kinda feel like a suburban mom in Walmart with my car horizontal blocking all. Surrounding shop important, do not interrupt, please. Cause I feel them in a section with 4 octagons, please. In the gin, take a sip till I'm slurring syllables. Suburban mom in Walmart with my car horizontal blocking all. Surrounding shoppers,
Oh my god, I get this track now. I mean, he says it in the very beginning, but I didn't know he was going to continue the theme throughout the track.
basic rights, I am straight and white. Do not confuse me, god dang it, faggot die. Bumpamino, pink chinos on daddy's yacht. Screaming every N-word cause my black friends say it's alright. Mommy's beamer where I suck off props and tweets.
This is the one!
I'm great. Misogyny, massage till the knots break. Ties chopped in a non-fake. Go raise from the the chin kept it growing.
This is the one. I don't care what you say.
Shotgun natties with Bossy Love, Rufus. That's just life, buddy. White trash.
Let me start off by congratulating him on, you know, just being able to develop his audience to the point where people would even care about this thing coming out. It just proves that people support the individual. There are tons of people I know that could come out with a project and no one would support it. So this is great to me. Just the fact that your subscribers and hopefully anybody who watches this video goes and supports it as well can look at your project and view it and compare it to projects that have come out this year. So how am I feeling about Tabby? White trash. First of all, the way he opened and the way he closed this thing were very strong. It started one way, ended a different way. I'm gonna try to keep my comments about it. Okay, really, phone? Okay. I'm gonna try to keep my comments about this thing kind of generally speaking. Because in my opinion it does have a very similar vibe. It is a pretty cohesive project as far as production is concerned when it comes to the subjects that Tabby tends to tackle. Although the subjects that he tends to discuss are very external, he still kind of manages to get you to believe that these are still things that impact him internally, because even if these things sometimes don't happen to him, the fact that he takes these things and, you know, internalizes them to the point where he can talk about them and it feels like he's knowledgeable about what he's saying makes the track more enjoyable. I think the beats being so simple and being so low-key in the beginning, being so consistent, help Tabby as a rapper. They help him be more of the center of attention for each track so that you're not too focused on production. He's not using ad-libs. He's not trying to get you to be distracted by anything else. He wants your full attention on him as a rapper. And I can tell you this thing actually does sound like it had a lot of effort put into it. Even though Tabby I'm sure doesn't have the hugest budget out there, was still able to put together a very cohesive, nice sounding project. I like the actual intro and outros from Big Quint on this thing. I like how Big Quint explains what the track is about to get into while this jazzy instrumental is playing in the background, because his voice fits perfectly for it. Leads you slowly but surely into the subject matter of what's about to happen on the tracks, like on Rufus. I don't know if Tabby actually meant to do this, but on the end of Doozy, Big Quint actually says clean out your headphones and everything like that. And then the very next track, we get a great, like, one of the best songs on the project comes right after that, and it's kind of like signifying like, hey, clean your fucking earbuds because you need to hear what's coming next. One thing that I really love about this project, I like how Tabby goes into different flows on this thing. I like how he experiments with his voice. His voice, again, is very animated, and I think a lot of people will end up comparing him to people like Danny Brown or possibly Eminem to a degree. Only reason why I feel like people will end up doing that is because they're used to rappers rapping as if they don't care about what they're talking about. A lot of rappers nowadays, when they speak, it's so laid back, it's so trying to be cool that they don't feel the need to put any effort or emotion into their voice. So their voice comes across as very boring, very stale, very lackluster. So that when you get the few artists out there in the industry, Tabby included, you're probably surprised to hear any kind of feeling, emotion, or animation within someone's voice. So immediately tying his voice into Danny Brown isn't really a good comparison. Danny Brown isn't always as audible. I feel like Tabby tries to at least make his points and his lyrics clear for you to understand while you're listening to this thing. And I know listening to it through a speaker is a totally different experience from listening to it with headphones. I feel like headphone users will really get the full experience of this thing, in my opinion, because the beats aren't too heavy. They're just right for the hipsters. I myself am an avid headphone user. I try to stay away from stereo as much as possible. Favorite tracks being Buckwheat, Cranston, Yellowbelly, Rufus, 1227, Mahogany, Doozy, and White Trash. 1227 is probably the track that's going to get you to connect to Tabby the most, or at least feel the most amount of empathy, because this is probably the first track on the entire record that you feel like Tabby is really delving deep into his personal life, saying something that you can't really get from any other person. It's saying something that really is indigenous to him, and the 1227 way of viewing it with this track is awesome, in my opinion. Overall, it was a really well-rounded mixtape, but everything isn't all sunshine and happy days. With as much time as Tabby spends on this project talking about how white privilege is a thing, speaking on topics that are normally viewed as taboo, rapping on significantly darker beats than most people are used to hearing, and having some pretty good lyricism, he falls short when it comes to entertaining you for the entire duration. Some of the tracks on here, you're listening to them for a certain amount of time, and although you may enjoy them, you're wondering why it needs to be as long as it is. I get that a lot of this is the behavior kind of white trash, but on the last track is where we get most of what that means. On the last track is where we get the most of what he's talking about with the theme of the album. I think this thing has spent a lot of the time trying so hard to not be a concept that it ends up coming across with no subject at all. Like, there are tracks on here I like where Tabby shows off his capability as a rapper, but that's sometimes all you get, and you get that sometimes on multiple tracks. Even on tracks where there's sometimes meant for it to be more of a concept, it's kind of spent talking about filler content. Don't get me wrong, it's some good filler, but it's still filler content. I feel like someone who really appreciates production probably won't enjoy this thing to its fullest extent. I feel like a lot of it is very samey when it comes to beats that are very low-key, dark, against the grain. They don't really cater to a demographic of people who require like a banger. Like I said, I like the darkness and I like the subject matter that Tabby delves into, but I think the tracks on here that are his strongest are the ones that have the low-key beat or that have a lot of jazz incorporated. Like on 1227, it has a bit of a jazz instrumental in the back, or kind of a sweeter instrumental to kind of give you or depict the image that Tabby is really emotional right now, or you really can feel where he's coming from. He even gives a little voiceover at the end of the track. But on some of the other tracks, although Tabby is giving a great performance, it just comes away with a lack of identity. Like, I could throw any member from Odd Future or possibly any dark rapper I could probably think of and put them on this beat and kind of get the same experience. On some of these tracks, it's not giving me something that I can say, this is something only Tabby could do. And I get that this is going to be his first project, so I'm not trying to like go hard or say, oh man, you know, you need to just hang it up. Because for this to be his first project, I think it's great. I think it's a great project for your first project. And it's a tough spot for him to be in, because coming out as a new artist and as a reviewer of music, you have to be against everything that you even critiqued. When it comes to mumble rap, you can't do that. Can't ad-lib, can't give trash lyrics, can't give trash bars, can't have the same banger production that everybody else has. You need to be different. So that kind of forces you into another box of rappers that already exists, like Tyler the Creator, like Earl Sweatshirt, like Danny Brown, similar to you know, Eminem. So it's a tough spot to be in. You know, he's in a really tough position. I myself would have a very hard time trying to figure out what style of rap I would like to go into with this many different styles already out there. And you're heavily influenced by music as it is, so it's hard to kind of make something and not be influenced to some degree by something else you've already heard. Point is, Tabby does a great job of putting this thing together. I do like it. The surprise Big Quint feature is a really great added addition. Like I said, his voice works perfectly as a chill beat or like a lead into or an exit from a song. And although I think this thing is great, you may actually come away from this project with a question mark. Tabby, white trash. You did your thing, man. You really did. You should be proud. You should be. Let this thing blossom, because I definitely appreciate the work you put into it. Lyrically, the amount of time it probably took you to think about half the stuff you said on this project is mind-boggling. Definitely go support the mixtape, whether it be on SoundCloud, whether it be on iTunes. I'll leave a link to the purchase link in the description down below. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, knowing you have a full body of workout. Everybody go support them. You're doing great with your YouTube channel, man. And I'm looking forward to the next one. Till next time, it's been Shawn C. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite song was off this project, and I'll see you next time. Peace.